prices of major commodities to many reasons, and these are what we will look at briefly. We will look briefly into 2020 food security in 2025, and now look deeply in what to expect in 2026. I have in the studio two seasoned farmers who are going to, analyze this for us and tell us what to expect in this year. I have Mr. Rotimi Shogunle, who happens to be the Public Relations Officer of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Ogun State, in Ogun State. You are welcome to the studio.
It's my pleasure, sir.
All right. And I also have another seasoned farmer, Mr. Taiwo Adekeye. You are welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Before we talk about 2026, I want us to look briefly into food security in 2025. Let me start with Mr. Taiwo Adekeye. How do we fare when you look at 2025 from January to December 2025? How do you say Nigeria fared when it comes to food security?
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, first and foremost, we need to know what is food security. Food security, in simple terms, means there is availability of food, affordability, accessibility, and not just quantity, but quality. Then availability of this nutritious food. Then civil servants, artisans, traders, everybody, are they able to access it? Then looking at the price, actually in 2025, at the beginning of 2025, let me say the first quarter, because of inflation, because of so many transportation costs, removal of fuel subsidy, not experiencing so much gain from it, it's brought about high prices in the market. But towards the end of the year, just like you have rightly mentioned, towards the end of the year, we discovered that the prices of goods came down a little bit. Now, why? So many factors could be attributed to that. Maybe number one, dollar came down a little bit. At least it was stable for some period, that the fluctuation was not that much felt, because even those food that has to be imported, it has to be we need to consider the rate of dollar. Then in terms of transportation, in terms of accessibility, people were able to access, especially towards the end of the year, many of those food prices at least came down a little bit compared to what we experienced early in the year 2025.
All right, let me come to Mr. Shogunle. Now, from your own perspective, from how do we fare in 2025, looking at food security in Nigeria?
He has given a brief definition of food security, but the truth must be said as a farmer. To the public, yes, the price came down, but it was at a cost to the farmers, a very big cost, because hardly so many factors. Number one, the climatic change, because most farmers could not plant as early as possible. Even the late farming we did, the rain didn't help, because to plow became a problem. Now, but the major factor is that the price came down, not as a result of enough food in the market produced locally, but as a result of smuggling and the window given by the federal government that most of our clients bring as much as possible maize, cassava end products, and so many things that are hitherto bought from farmers. And so, because of that, we were producing at a pace to meet industrial usage. Government now allowed those industries to bring in food in excess and their raw materials. So what happens? What we are producing is beyond what local consumption could take, what human being could take. So what happened? There is a glut. And so that glut forced down the prices of food. So, which means at the end of the day, farmers were losing. Because what it costs you to plow, to prepare 1 hectare of cassava, you realize that at harvest, you have not even recovered 100%. And that is obvious.
All right. Looking at some of these things you mentioned, you know, some of this, like you said, could be attributed to climate change and all. Looking at 2026, will you say it's the cost, or we are going to enjoy more of these lower prices when it comes to buying of goods?
Now you see, the implication is this, I will tell you. Farming is such a business that you have so many people rushing in and rushing out, especially people that have free funds. That has been the experience. They are not consistent. They get that money, they are interested in farming, they bring in their money. When their fingers are burnt, they run away. And so the implication of what federal government did is that most farmers, the consistent and regular farmers, will be frustrated. They are already being frustrated. You can imagine a ton of cassava going for 50,000. We know the cost of land preparation, we know the cost of chemical, we know the cost of labor. So, if government policy is not consistent, we will come to a merry-go-round, and that is the issue. We can experience lower price in 2026, but what will happen in 2027? What will happen in 2028? Because it has a ripple effect. So that is it. We might enjoy the lower prices for a while now, but I tell you, in due course, we'll pay the price.
All right, I will come back. We will come back to that on what can be done to ensure that the farmers, it will always be a win-win at the end of the day. But let me come back to Mr. Shogunle. Adike, sorry. According to the Food and Agricultural Organization, approximately 25.3% of Nigeria's population is undernourished. And additionally, 30.6 million Nigerians in 26 states and FCT are projected to face acute food and nutrition insecurity crisis. Looking at what we experienced in the last period of 2025, do you think, projecting for that, do you think this statistics can be, worked on, whereby some of this prediction will not come by in 2026 if we keep to what we were able to do towards the end of last year, and if we work harder to ensure that we reduce the prices of goods that we had last year, I mean reducing it further. Do you think we can, deal with some of these, and the prediction at the end of the day will not come to reality?
Yeah, thank you very much. You cannot just predict, precisely like that. So many factors have to be considered, especially looking at the issue of insecurity as it affects farmers. Farmers had their clutches here and there. Many of our farmers have moved away from the farm. They are no more staying on the farm because it's not safe. It's no more safe. And farmers are the ones to produce all this food that we are talking about. Then, when you consider even accessibility, like I said, the farmers, they are not able to transport most of their products to the farm. easily like that. You know, like my partner said that we may experience low prices towards the end of the year actually, but he said at a cost to farmers. Now, look at climate change for instance. It has brought a lot of, you know, staggered predictions. We can't predict precisely that, oh, this is what is going to happen. For instance, look at what happened the past 2 weeks. The past 2 weeks, in fact, in my own area, we experienced about 3 or 4 heavy downpour. Just these last few days. And you cannot say farmers should go to the farm and start planting in that area. We have experienced such things in the days of old when we even predict, you know, the farmers predict without even using any technological aid or so. So many factors. If the government is able to maintain and find solutions to certain things, for instance, the issue of tractor, are they available to farmers? I went to agro services so many times. At the end of the day, they directed me to my sis, and which is very close to my farm. And at the end of the day, I was not able to get the tractor. I have to look for a private owned one. So that is the input. If then government policies, like my partner said, our policies are not inconsistent. For instance, if a political party comes in now and maybe another party, you know, in 2027, for instance, comes in, they may try to change the policy because they may say, oh, the ones on ground are no more working, and all of these affect production, and it will also affect prices. Then apart from that, what is government doing about post-harvest losses, wastages? All of these are factors that if government is able to ensure that all these things are put in place. Let me quickly add the fact that if the way our youth are, you know, rushing into creation of content creation, if they rush into farming like that, I'm very, very sure prices of goods will fall automatically, because we will have much good. And you know the price, price mechanism, when the supply is or the demand and supply mechanism, you know, it will come into play if government is able to introduce so many programs that will encourage youth going to farming.
I think before now, this has been mentioned when we talk about, you talked about those going to content
creation, yes.
And you can really say that industry is huge right now.
Seriously.
And possibly they are low risk. Possibly that's why we have a lot of people going into that. And I understand that there have been times that government actually brought up many initiatives to woo young Nigerians into farming. And you mentioned it as well, that we have many people who, because of they are wealthy, they decide to go into farming, and one way or the other, they were,
they rush in and they
rush out. But if I may ask, what beyond the issue of maybe climate change, what are also reasons that can actually, make someone that is possibly interested in farming, had a little experience, decide to go into farming, but one way or the other, within less than a year, is out of business?
Yeah, you see, before I answer your question, I'd like to throw more light into 2 or 3 points you made. Number one, in Ogun State today, we have our governor has procured 39 tractors with all implements, which I'm too sure before the season begins is going to distribute. That's a privilege. And I also mentioned post-harvest loss. Now, because information is key, I'm equally the chairman of Abeokuta Farm Settlement here. And I was here on a program last week where I showcased what the government is putting on there Not in that location alone. We have 22 different locations in Ogun State, where Ogun State government is doing wonderful work. At Abeokuta here, you have 5,000 capacity chicken processing plants, all solar powered, 1 megahertz. And that tells you it does not depend on national grids. Okay. Now, if you get to Abeokuta now, you have 120,000 broiler pens constructed, all to bring in food security to the state. And that is scattered all over the state. You have 22 different locations. This one with solar dryer, this one with fish processing, this one with cassava processing, and scattered like that. So the government of Ogun State has really put in measures in place so that we can get food security within a very short time. This is happening now. So now let me now come back to your question. Now, making people interested in agriculture is a function of passion. It's not a function of money. If you come into agriculture because you have money, you will rush in and you will rush out. But if you have passion for what you are doing, you learn along the line, you know that you need to diversify your portfolio. And so when you have mixed portfolio in agriculture, you don't really burn your hands too much. And if the price of this one goes down, this one will cushion it. And so that way, your interest and your profit margin can be sustained.
Does it have to be passion alone? Because I believe that just like I've heard that there are a lot of money, interest in farming. Yeah. But I believe many of the investors, the new investors are, also possibly because of they have passion, but the major mission is to make money. But when you look at it, will you say passion alone is the reason why they want to go into it, or because the interest is very key?
Now, I think probably you got me halfway. The aim and objectives of all investor is profit making. That is there. But you must have passion, because it is a passion that will drive your interest and you make money. And most importantly, for you as a newcomer, you are coming into agriculture, you have to look at where the money is as at that time. Some people, you see the youths you are talking about, I do advise them to love agric, then you have to look at the value chain. Look at where you make your money without burning your fingers quickly. For example, marketing. You spoke about content creation. Most of them, they don't have any warehouse, they don't have any store. They go to a man selling electronics, they take the shots, they post as if they are the seller. You want to buy, you contact them, they go there, they pay, they bring it to you. So that's the same model. We make our youth not to burn their fingers in agric. So it's all encompassing.
All right. Now let's look at the fact is that we are growing. When you look at our population, we keep growing, and one of the biggest ways is having enough commodity food to feed our population, and we want to reduce to the barest minimum as possible importation. Now, looking at all this, I'm aware that, because just like what you mentioned, we now have ways to improve on the planting. That is the tech side of agriculture. We have seen it, we've heard about it, it has been test run. But it seems that we still prefer the normal, should I call it old way of farming. And this is what I'm talking about, introducing technology, new tech into farming. Now, why is it that it seems we are not really embracing this? Because I know we used to have one around Opantuko side, and I know that we have new investors, bringing in, trying this initiative. But for local farmers, is there any reason why we don't you know, is it that it's capital intensive or what? Why are we not really, you know, navigating?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. You see, let me first of all appreciate what my partner said in terms of what the government is doing and making some provisions in some of these farm settlements. Yes, fine. But my fear is we have political farmers. So if he's not going to be hijacked by political farmers, it's a very, very good thing. Yeah. Now, coming back to your point, you see, all those technological way of improving our farming and vis-a-vis production, how many people can afford some of these items that, like, what is this thing? Drone.
Oh, okay.
How many farmers can afford it? Even though there was a time they said we should come together, you know, form cooperative and all of this, you will just discover that at the end of the day, it's going to be hijacked by, so to say, political farmers. Because I have a bitter experience as regards this. The real farmers, for instance, he mentioned the issue of some of the, when I mentioned the issue of post-harvest, that some of these things, they are available at Abeokuta. How many farmers are aware of this? Not necessarily in that settlement alone. So, government need to carry a kind of reorientation so that all of these traditional farmers will embrace. We have been mentioning mechanized farming, but how many people can afford some of these inputs? That's one. Then two, irrigation system. You know, we depend on rainfall, and that has to do with climate change. But if government is interested in irrigation, for instance, I practice irrigation on my farm, but the issue of headers farmers clash that I told you, when Fulani people came to the farm and they brought out cutlass and was cutting my drip irrigation pipes, they wanted water to come out of it so that their cows can drink. So, and I came to police stations, brought them to police station, but at the end of the day, what happened? I had to bear the loss. So, all of these factors, if government is able to make sure that all of these factors are in place, like I said, the irrigation system, let them carry a kind of reorientation. Carry a kind of orientation to farmers. Let them be aware of what is happening in their environment. How can they access some of the available mechanized equipment? How can they access that? Is if they are available. In fact, there is nothing better than we are making use of drone, like I said. But we went for a seminar where they brought this drone, and they said, okay, now you want to water using drone. Maybe they said within 30 minutes it's going to cost us like 58,000, if I could, 58,000 naira, and you are having about maybe 10 hectares of land. How many farmers can afford that? When government is able to purchase all these items and inform farmers, get this equipment are available in so place. Go there. Do the normal. Follow the normal protocol, but you just realize that the real farmers are not benefiting many of these things.
All right. Now, I want us to look at this. Not that around December, not even before the festive period, before December, November, we know that the prices of food items really came down. But if also we also need to talk about the price of fuel, that's petrol. Now, I want to ask, what is the effect of this? What is the effect of this on
the agricultural products?
Produce and also food security generally.
Now, you see, I will still want to talk concerning what you said. You see, information is key. And the issue we have with farmers and with Nigerians or Africans is we don't believe in mutual dealings, mutual corporations. You see, and it makes us to lose and suffer a lot. Are you getting? Now, Ogun State government through OGTV, through IITA, about 2 years now, they set up information management system, whereby all farmers were asked to register. You understand? And that information management is there, which farmers today, government today, for agriculture knows all the farmers that were registered. The registration can still be done. Every farmer that is interested can still go to Ministry of Agri and get himself registered. You understand? So once you are on that platform,
yes,
you can access whatever. For example, all these 22 clusters I mentioned, they were domiciled in areas where you have many farmers. So accessibility becomes very easy. We've been talking about drone, water, tractor, and all these things. If government procure it, government will only put it where you have 200 farmers, where you have 300 farmers, not where you have 1 farmer, 2 farmers. So what we advise is all our farmers should come together. Those of you farming in an area should come together, join cooperatives, make yourself farmers, then make demands. That's why we have AFAN. It's an umbrella body of all commodity farmers. If you are a cocoa farmer, come together, you have representatives in AFAN. So whatever demand you have, pass it through. And those people will inform the government. So I think, sincerely speaking, we are lucky to have this commissioner of agriculture. I think he has changed the face of agriculture in the state. That's the truth. 2 years ago, government gave us input. And this year, again, I left a farm meeting to be here. We are equally writing a letter to remind government that this year, please give us input so as to subsidize us. Because all these foods that are being imported, sincerely they are subsidized. And that is why somebody can plant in Norway and bring it to Abeokuta and it's still cheaper. It's because government over there subsidizes them. So the same demand AFAN is making on the state government, reminding them, they have been doing it, it's not a new thing. Just to remind them that, Honorable Commissioner, please help us tell His Excellency, our Governor, that this year, 2026, we should not forget farmers give us inputs. So that is there. Now, back to the question you asked. How, remind me?
The effect
of petrol on prices of goods and services,
especially on food security in general.
Now, food, let's talk of, you see, petrol is a big factor because you cannot survive, you cannot move from my house to my farm every day. My fuel is 5,000 every day. How many farmers can afford it? You understand? But when you look at it, what do I have in my kitchen? So what I have will sustain it. And that is why in a farm settlement, you are supposed to be there as a farmer. You understand? So you take away those costs. But God is magnanimous to us, such that what you cannot produce in Ogun State today, people in Benue are producing. By the time you can produce it in Ogun State, people in Lagos, they are producing another thing. That is what God has done to Nigeria. And so, when government make policy, they have to look at it critically. food security is highly dependent on cost of petroleum products because they have to move. You have to move the goods. You want to move cattle from Kano or Sokoto to Lagos. It's transportation. And that spiral effect will always be there. And let me tell you the truth. When it comes to cattle, if I tell you the hand, this cattle exchanges, the number of in-house trading that goes in before they get to Lagos or Abeokuta is huge. If a cattle leaves Sudan, most of the cattle we eat, they are not from Nigeria. Nigeria is a market. So somebody will take it from Sudan or Mali
by road,
by road or by bush to one way, somebody else will buy, and all is either in CFA or in dollar. So those are the effects.
So the cheaper the price of petrol, the cheaper
the cost of the food security.
Now, the other time you mentioned that farmers are the one bearing the brunt of this cheap food items that we enjoyed during the around November, December.
That we are still enjoying.
That we are still enjoying. Now, what's the solution to this? How can it be a win-win for farmers in 2020?
It's going to be because of what I said Ogun State government is doing. Now, these value additions, these processing centers, will actually help farmers. For example, this December I did about 5,000 broilers. Now, towards Christmas, we retain about 500. But I do believe that we could not sell up to 300, even bringing the price down. So the implication is once the process.
Why were you unable to?
Affordability. It's affordability. There is no purchasing power.
But it seems in that area, what I noticed during the protestive period is that to rear chicken, and it seems every household now are now going into. I'm not every household, but when you look around, when you count 100 houses in your area, you possibly see 25 houses, family, rearing.
Trying to help themselves.
Possibly, do you also think this is one of the reasons why poultry farmers are not really making enough, or did not make enough during?
Sorry, sir. Can I comment?
I don't agree with your analysis. It's not because people are rearing one or two chicken in their house. Not because of that. It's because of illegal importation. Stay in front of Okemoson between 10 p.m. and 2 p.m. Count the number of vehicles coming from Cotonou, bringing either rice. Go there. So you have a lot of smuggling going. That is just one route. Go to Ifo. Go to Songo. So those are the factors. This cheap price we are seeing is not because farmers are producing so many factors. But the worst of the factor is smuggling. That's the worst of the factor. If we are to make, it's going to be win-win because if I produce much now, government is putting dryer in our farm sector. If there is no market, what do? I just dry and keep. My chicken, I have them, I could not sell. I process and put in cold store. You understand? I have added value and also I will sell higher because it's consumable. But when we don't have all those centers, so that was why I said towards the end of 2026, I'm too sure food security in Ogun State is going to be at a higher level.
All right, you wanted to?
Yes, actually he has even mentioned the point I wanted to raise, because when he mentioned the fact that he raised broilers and he was unable to sell the whole thing. So I wanted to say that that's what I'm saying about post-harvest losses, that we don't have some of these equipment available. Now, for instance, World Bank team, they came to my farm, I think about 2 years ago, and when they got there, they saw poultry pen, and the man was asking me, Prince, why are you not going into broilers production? I said, yes, I'm interested in going into it. But one thing is that I have, you as the World Bank, you have to give me certain thing to motivate me. They said, what? I said, number one, you're going to give me cold room. And they said, yes, we should be able to do that. We should be able to do that. I said, no, fine. I said, sir, I will not run the cold room with generator. I have 100 kVA capacity of generator on my farm. But I said I will not run it on diesel. As at that time, diesel was 1,280 naira. And I said, if you consider that, if I am running the cold room, they said then, what diesel? I said, if you are able to give me solar powered cold room, I don't mind. They said, okay. That I should go to the market and look for such. That's the end of the story. That's the end of the story. But if government can come in that, like he rightly said,
that's the good news now. I declare farm settlement. What government has produced as of today, 4 big cold room has been installed. 1 megahertz solar powered electricity, which is off-grid. So
you know, hearing for the first time.
That was what and it's not for the farm settlers alone. It's for the whole farmers in the whole of Edazi.
But how many of the farmers are aware? Then, apart from those on the settlement farm, you know, settlement farm.
That is the beauty of this program.
Yeah,
that is the beauty of this program. And it is for us to disseminate the information.
And that's why I said something about orientation.
Yes, it is for us to let people know that this is happening in Ogun State. And that is why I'm saying, in the next, this commissioning will take place before March ending.
I agree with you.
Because it is 95% done. I took delivery of all the inventories. And I know that it's a game changer. Not only for poultry, the same thing in fishery. If you get to Eruwe and Ijebu, if you get to Abeokuta, they are there. So they are scattered all over the state.
Which is the beauty of it, you know, talking about food security early in the year, and hearing this, I believe people watching us at home will be very, very happy to know that some of these things are already in place, and that will ensure and aid food security in 2026. But let's look at assessing loan. You know, I believe that for any business to grow, you will definitely need funding, and whether it is personal or you have to look for external, fund. Now, agri-credited loan rises to 3.2 trillion naira in 2025, according to CBN, and this, to me, I think it indicates that a lot of farmers are really assessing, loan one way or the other. What has been your experience like in 2025? Do you experience any, trying to access loan to help your business, farming business in 2025? Was there a bottleneck, or how was it like? And what's your projection in 2025, 2026? Looking at how you want to also contribute to food security in 2026.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Actually, in that area, I think our government is really trying to encourage farmers to access such loans. And I like to say I'm one of the beneficiaries, like 2-3 years ago. I'm one of the beneficiaries. But there is always this bottleneck. If such bottlenecks could be removed, then many of the farmers will be able to access such loan. Government is really trying in that area. But the point is, even we, farmers, we need to, you need to sit down. Like the Bible said that, who is that man that will want to build and will not sit down and count the cost? What I mean by that is, what the interest rate And that's why I said government is really trying in that area. I remember very well that there was a period that we assessed a loan, you know, from the bank, and they said at the rate of 27%. But because federal government introduced what we call interest drawback, IDB. So if you are able to pay the loan as at when due, you have the opportunity to go back to that bank and get your interest drawback loan, which I secured from a bank. Even though the bank, that's why I said, you know, the issue of bottleneck. The bank, because they didn't know that I was once a banker, so they wanted to introduce certain things. I quickly went to CBN, this Abeokuta CBN. I went to CBN straight and reported the bank. And the bank now, CBN now gave me a letter to them. And before you know it, they credited my account. So those are, but how many of the farmers, especially the traditional farmers, that we even collected that loan together? As at that time, I remember very well, there was a group that collected that loan in the Bogila, to be precise. But they were not able to access that, maybe because of, you know, the orientation they have, and maybe because, I don't know, we only...
Requirements.
Yes, requirement, but you see, Nigerian factor is also there. You know, I mentioned something, that if you are able to return the loan at when due, that's when you have access to IDB, interest drawback, and that is a plus to our government.
All right. But I don't know whether you want to also talk on that.
Yeah, when it comes to loan, you see, the thing is consistent. You see, most of these loans are intervention loans. For example, you have one now they call livestock support. So it's supposed to be permanent. It's not supposed to be intervention. Those are the issues. Most of these loans are interventions. You are on it now. Something will just happen, they tell you, no, it's closed. So those are the issues. So, and it doesn't bring consistency. And when you want to access loan or facility and there is no consistency or continuity, this brash cost always cause setback. But to be candid, loans are available for commercial farmers. Loans are available, even in Ogun State we have Osamka. They are available. But look at the interest. Even this livestock loan we are talking, one of the commercial banks that came to introduce to us, they were saying they are going to pay as high as 19%. Yes, 19%. And as at that time, the conventional loan was going for 30%. So for a farmer with drought or flood, how does it survive? So I think what government did at the time, NASA, was a policy that should be sustained and packaged very, very well. Even at our local ministries here, not only federal government. Because there should be measures to cushion or alleviate farmers' losses, which are genuine. NIMED gave us prediction last year or year before that rain will stop in the first week in December in Ogun State. Rain stopped second week in November. Myself and my group, we planted 9 hectares of maize. In fact, our maize was the best in Ogun State because we planted the so-called GMO maize. All others of my friend from Yewa side, nobody could take 250 kilograms out of 1 hectare. Nobody. So the nature, what we are dealing with is beyond us. It's nature. And so, as government use OGTV to transform basic sectors such as agriculture I think government, that institution should be retained so that government can be using it for various interventions in critical areas. He mentioned irrigation. I've worked in the north, and I've seen how you have irrigated land of up to 200 hectares, 300 hectares. To get to Alaja in Kano, that irrigation area before you enter Kano. You can be there. In fact, when they're harvesting tomatoes, it's a jamboree for like 4 months. Because everybody plants here, they are plant tomato. And they're harvesting together. And as at that time harvest, my brother, nobody can sleep 24 hours. You see musicians going there, you see fruit vendors, you see them building their hut, like a hotel. After harvesting, go there the next week, zero.
Let's talk about the issue of insecurity, which I know at a particular period it was one of the reasons why prices of some commodities, beans and so forth was skyrocketed. Now, is there any concern that we know that government is really doing a lot in the area of insecurity? Do you have any concern talking about issue of insecurity? And also, I will also want to, we have like 6 minutes left. I also want you to talk about issue of multiple taxation. I'm aware that bringing some goods from the north, sometimes they have to pay, and a lot of things happen on that road. At the end of the day, the consumer will have to pay beyond, because no farmer wants to lose at the end of the day. I want you to react to that.
I think we are getting it right a little. Issue of security will be there, and you see their headers are still threatening us. But the state government really tried. There was a meeting with all stakeholders, including all the Fulani that held about 3-4 weeks ago at the livestock housing. Okay, how do you call that place? Around African Church Grammar School. All stakeholders were called together, and we make our recommendations to the government. We made our recommendations to the government on how we can elevate it. Then, on the second leg of your question, and that has to do with multiple taxation. I think the new tax law has really taken care of that. The new tax law has taken care of it, because now you can see the domestication happening in all states. Look at the one done by these touts on the road.
Exactly.
With the new tax law, there are no more. We have the joint transport that now issue one ticket. So any of them you find on the road, beat them. They are not genuine. They are fraudsters. So I think the issue of multiple taxation is being taken care of.
All right.
That I'm sure.
All right.
Well, let me agree with you as regards the issue of insecurity, but I think government has to do more. Government has to do more on it, because many of the farmers they cannot sleep with their eyes closed on their farms. So that is if they want to even sleep on the farm.
That one is a function of, we told them we have a law in the state. We have a law concerning that. Government should implement it. Those are part of,
my brother, government should implement, but are they implementing?
That's what I'm saying.
So that's the issue with me. Are they really implementing what they're supposed to implement?
I think it's a function of what government and also the security agencies must at the end of the day do. We will always ask. We've mentioned, many of us, issue of insecurity. The cost is there. Also, how many people have been tried when it comes to some of these things. We can also look at this, but I believe it's a work in progress, and I just like you said, government is doing some things in that area. The issue of multiple taxation, you mentioned it. When it comes to the touts,
sorry, this issue of multiple taxation,
it is good. Sorry,
even if the government has implemented this issue of tax that my partner said, yes, fine. But what about those, like you mentioned, that somebody wants to transport maybe beans from the north down here, they will pay through their nose.
No, see. That's what I'm
That's the reality. I'm talking about reality on ground, sir.
No, that is the part.
See,
2020, sir. The new tax law has eradicated all those. It is implementation that we have to pray for. And I'm sure government will do something.
I'm sure government is doing a lot in this area. Now, the new tax law is just has been implemented, and we are settling it.
Oh yes, let's see how
we will
it goes.
Evaluate it later in the course of the year. That's the show this afternoon. I'm very sure that you've learned one thing or the other. You've been informed, and some of the things that you don't know or you are not clear about, they've been able to shed more light on it. And yes, they are telling us that we should be rest assured that this year food security will be a thing that we will enjoy, adequately in 2026. That's the show this afternoon. If you enjoyed this segment, if you enjoyed this session, join us again next week, where we'll be talking about something different. Till then, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.